now, and I'm going to tag you in a retweet with the broadcast. Let's see here. Oh, there it is. And I'm going to retweet. Quote tweet. We are live with. Did that. And that's all I got to do. And then we'll say, what's up? Good evening. How you doing? You're listening to another episode of Taking the Over with Billy Gunn. And I'm your host, the one and only Billy D. Gunn on this, the official sports wagering podcast of Boot Crew Media. Joined as always by the handsome and charming T-Man among boys. That's right. His name is T, and he is a man among boys. And we have joining us tonight. It's a guy I've actually wanted to have on the show for quite a while. I'm a huge fan of his work. I think he's like the clown jester, like the resident content creator, comedian extraordinaire of Saints Twitter and really this market in general. And I think he's a fascinating guy, and I think he's got a fascinating story. So I can't wait to talk to him tonight, even if he's into gambling or not. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to Taking the Over, Mr. Jono Barnes. What's up, Jono, man?
Well, you actually got the pronunciation right. Look at you, Billy.
Where the fuck do you think I'm from, dude? Where are you
Billy,
from originally?
Billy.
Where were you born?
Yep. Well, hold on. Before we send this conversation towards me, that introduction from you guys was fine, but I feel like you could have added a little more pizzazz. You could have been like, the Road Dog T, badass Billy Gunn, taking the over. Come on, man. It's Saints season.
Dude, that's, my name is actually William Gunn. That's the thing.
We need some work on our intros. That's, I think we got some inspiration.
He's upstaging me here. I got to do better than this. I
got 3 pairs. Might as well.
Put on 3 pairs.
That's what I like to see.
There you go. You guys, well, dude, my legal name is William Gunn. My legal name is. When you called me Bill, I was when I was DMing you, and you're like Bill, and I was like, there's like 3 motherfuckers in the lifetime that have called me Bill, but I like this because you know.
Look, that's the same feeling I get when somebody calls me Jonathan, so I should know better. So that's it's still preseason, okay, Billy? Like, give me some, I'm working out the cobwebs, okay?
If they don't call you Jono, do they call you Jono? Like, what are they calling you?
Oh, yeah,
getting that wrong.
Like when people
Jono,
which it doesn't bother me too much, but it is Jono.
Right.
To the few people who listening who still don't know how to pronounce my name, because most of the people do by now, but when I first started doing content last year, a lot of people would bring me on. They would say Jono, and I just run with it. I'd be like, okay,
oh, that's funny.
It's Jono for the next hour.
Yeah, it'll be Jono. Be whatever you want me to be. Are you into wagering at all? Do you bet on games?
My wallet sadly agrees that yes, I am. If I wasn't, I would have probably told you no. Billy, I don't like Billy. Why would I be on the show if I'm not somebody?
We don't care that
betting.
It's going to sound crazy that it doesn't even matter if you bet on sports to be on the show. Like we're going to get some weeks because we're not even in the real NFL season yet, so we've got to get creative.
So Billy, let me tell you this. Obviously, they finally made it legal in Louisiana. I believe that was like about February, maybe it was March. It was this year though. So I was really heavy into the NBA season. Once the playoffs ended, kind of took a break because I'm not necessarily a big MLB fan. I maybe do 1 or 2 bets every now and then just to take a shot at it. But I'm really looking forward to football season because that's when I feel like I'm going to go heavy with the bets. I just want to make sure my wife didn't hear that. I'm going to go heavy with the bets. And definitely will be utilizing you guys to make sure that I make the best possible bets forward because
no, I don't know if that's
I'm not an expert or anything. I'm a guy.
Oh, well, I'll wear that. Oh, that
looks like a good bet.
You should.
$25 on that,
You should trust us. Dude, I'm 6-1. I'm 6-1 this week in the last 7 wagers on this weird formula that I've put together for same game parlays in like international soccer and also domestic soccer, professional leagues. It doesn't matter if I'm betting like Polish extravaganza ding dong at 10 o'clock in the morning or if I'm betting MLS on a Saturday night, like these bets are hitting, and people do that, and they started to tell me, and they started to make money with me. And
I heard Poland Schmamelenka Ding Dong is a 14-point favorite this week, so I'm gonna have to put my money down on it.
Yeah. It's so great. Like I don't even know the names of the teams that I'm betting on. That's the name of the league.
Yeah.
I think.
The best part is whenever he posts his picks, he has to clarify which country and which league it is, so you can find it.
Yeah, it's Polish for soccer. Whatever Extravalava Ding Dong is.
Oh,
the Polish. Soccer league.
Wasn't it? It was the. Didn't we have the Winter Games or something that happened earlier this year? It was some type of Olympics games that was going on.
I'm not a big Olympics bettor.
And that's the problem, though. I'm not either. But
especially the Winter Games.
2 a.m. at night, and there was this hockey game, and 2 countries I never heard of, and I bet a lot of money on it. And it was one of those things where hockey, like they make the goalie go away because the team that's losing is trying to get a desperation last shot, so that leaves the net empty. And I swear, I was winning the bet. I don't even remember what the bet was, but with like 1 second left, because the goalie was going, the team that was winning got the puck and made one of those, bullshit goalies that didn't even matter. And my heart sank. And I swore off gambling for the rest of my life until about 3 days later when I made an NBA bet.
That's right. NBA bets are tough, man. NBA bets will go all over the place. NFL and UFC is my strong points. Like I said, I think there's some exploitable things in soccer depending on how you go, and I don't anticipate that I'll keep up a 6-1. What is that, T? What is it, like a 70-something% record in the making?
Yeah.
That won't continue, but I do think that we'll finish far enough beyond 50% to make it profitable in the long run.
It's real streaky. You go on those hot streaks, and then you get hit with the coldest streak you've ever seen right after. So, but it's a long game. So, like Gunn said, you look back
and it's fun, right? Like I enjoy just the.
Well, that's the whole thing. The whole thing is the sweat, Jono. You just want to sweat. You just want to sweat.
That comes with it.
Oh yeah,
it's
dude.
The thrill of the chase. That's what they say.
That's why you bet Polish soccer games at 10 o'clock in the morning on Tuesday.
There you go. Exactly.
I want to sweat. I want the next hour and a half to be a lot of fun. And that's what happens. I mean, and like I said, I've got this method. My method is, it's been working. I like I said, I'm not a big baseball guy like you. I'm not a big fan of baseball. It's hard to watch. So I like to do bets that involve like the first inning exclusively. So you have to watch like one inning. You have to pay attention to one inning. Or it's fun to bet like pitchers to get a certain amount of strikeouts before they get pulled in the 5th fucking inning.
Would that be considered a prop bet?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, those are props.
Yeah,
the pitcher Ks is props. And it's funny, like there's a new paradigm with the proliferation of gambling now. It's in like 30 states, and the apps, and it used to just be like bookies in Vegas and Atlantic City, but now it's like you can bet anywhere. And like with DraftKings, use promo code BOOT, and FanDuel, like all these different apps, props are huge. Mm-hmm. But the old paradigm of gambling was like, if you were a successful gambler against just like the spread or against just like totals, if you're hitting 56% like over a long term, over a lot of bets, you're an extremely, you're like professional grade, right? But that paradigm has shifted now with the proliferation of props, with the proliferation of app-based betting, and just the sheer magnitude and volume of different options that you have. There are guys out there that are running 25%, 30% ROI over sustained periods of time. And we have all the information at our fingertips now because I can do whatever I need to do to put it together. And I don't profess to be the smartest, but I like to aggregate. I like to use best practices from other people. And so like something like baseball, I don't even like baseball, but I'll bet on it to make it interesting. Like you did on that hockey game, to make that hockey game interesting, to make it watchable, to have some skin in it. But I like to get like the stuff I don't know about. I'm not afraid to look to people smarter than me and take all their advice and all their data and all their research and all the time they spend on it, and then just put my own patois on it. And my goal, as I've done for probably like the last 7 or 8 weeks, I'm sorry, I'm on a long soliloquy here, is basically just try to win like a unit a day, right? Starting on Monday, try to win a unit a day, a unit of measurement. That can be like your average bet. Your average bet may be $20. Your average bet may be $10. Your average bet may be $100. But try to profit 1 unit per day via like 2 to 3 to 4 bets. When you get up a unit and a half, stop and plan on the next day. And do that. And usually by the time the weekend gets there, by the time you get to the weekend, you're playing with house money, and then you get to bet stupid and bet fun and hopefully win those too. You should let me pitch this to your wife.
Yeah, that was the
Right?
most reasonable explanation of gambling I've ever gotten.
Yeah, it's easy. It's easy, T. Right? It just works just like that. You never
I didn't know
lose.
It was going to become like an informational session podcast. Jeez,
That's what we
the
do,
We aim
knowledge
to
man.
be
is just
educational,
22.
fun edutainment.
Edutainment.
That's
Yeah,
right.
It's edutainment, Jono.
yeah, that was beautiful.
Okay,
Man.
your story. I know you got a crazy backstory, right? Your origin story's got to be weird. I know you were a ball boy for the Pelicans for how long?
13 years.
What was that like?
That was, look, my backstory is very interesting, amazing. Some would even argue inspiring. I was born behind a dumpster because my mama left me. My daddy left her. I'm joking.
Oh shit! I was, but I was like, my cat was born behind a dumpster.
I was like about to clip that up for TikTok. That would have been
I never
viral.
knew
From
my mom
that.
and dad. And
Yeah.
it drove me to be the man. No, yeah, I was a ball boy for the Pelicans/Hornets, I guess, because I started during the New Orleans Hornets days for 13 years. So essentially, every player from this generation that we are currently living in that you can think of, I've gotten to work with. I've had the pleasure of getting to know. And when I say getting to know, I'm not going to say I'm able to call Chris Paul, Anthony Davis, and whatever and say, what's up, but it's enough of a relationship. Like when I see them, whether it be, sometimes by chance, maybe out and about when they used to play in New Orleans, when I was still working there, when they would come back and play against us when they were with their new teams, they would know me. Yeah. Follow some of them on social media. You can imagine the looks on their faces when they see like what I'm doing now with social media, right? And it was just a heck of an experience, honestly. Like I take for granted and I try to appreciate it every day that I did it because I know how many people would kill for that experience to like be rubbing elbow. I mean, as a ball boy, let me tell you, that's probably the best position you can have as a person who's an actual fan of the game because you are literally working with the players. It's not like a front office job or whatever where, you're not really interacting with the players. As a ball boy, you are literally their point of contact on game days for whatever duties or whatever they have. So now it's not, it's not a job I would say get to, advance your career or anything like that. But if you are just like a diehard, especially, during your high school and college days, I started in my college days. I mean, it was if you don't believe in God, I feel like that's the type of story that if I didn't believe in God myself, that's the type of story where I had no choice but to believe in God because I'm like, how did I get this opportunity? Like knowing I'm a huge basketball fan and to be now literally sitting shoulder to shoulder with Chris Paul, Anthony Davis, Zion Williamson. If you want to talk about the visiting players, LeBron, Steph, a lot of people used to always joke, still do. Oh, you look like Steph Curry. So me and Steph always have fun with that. I'm starting to but again, like sir, every player you can think of, I've gotten to work with. I probably have a picture with them. And it was an amazing experience. It really was.
That's awesome, dude.
Did I bore T with the story? Or?
No, I was just I had to clear my throat and I didn't want to interrupt. I was actively listening, and that's a good story. So
what jersey do you have on right now from Duke?
This is a Brandon Ingram Duke jersey.
Oh yeah, I love it.
Wow.
I hate Duke with all of my heart, but Brandon Ingram, of course, I had that.
Man. So we'll allow it.
You know how many jerseys I have of players that are no longer with teams? So that's why I've gone the college route or the international route. So they're never out of style.
Well, look, I'll show you guys. I have this one.
Jeez Louise.
So taking me over his first fashion show.
I don't know if you guys know this.
Who's that?
Is that a Buccaneers jersey?
Yes.
That's Milwaukee. That's Chris Paul.
So I have that random as hell, but I also have this Morris Peterson jersey.
Is that a real game-worn jersey? Is that like his jersey?
I mean, look,
these are real jerseys, by the way. These aren't like he didn't buy these.
It would look like a dress on me if I put it on.
Right, because these are tall. These gentlemen are tall.
This is LeBron James whenever he played with the Lakers. I guess
that's how he hides his receding hairline.
Autographed it.
That's a really big headband. He wears it.
Yeah, that's a huge headband. But he's missing a lot of hair. He's missing a lot of hair. He's got a huge headband to.
Very definitely treasure now, like one of his finger cast when he was playing with a broken finger. So I have a lot. I feel like I'm inviting people to come and ride my house, but I have some good keepsakes in my house that I probably don't show off enough, but definitely a good bit that hopefully if my kid, whenever I have one, is an NBA fan one day, he'll be like, holy crap, Dad, you are the man.
So,
Dude, you can.
I
you
have a
can-
follow-up
You can
question
call in
to a
once
lot
a
of
week.
that.
Call in once a week and show us some jersey. It'll be like jersey time with Jono.
Yeah.
Hey,
It beats my
the
Joey
mail
Harrington
probably-
jersey by a
You
mile.
should see my shoe closet. We could do a shoe a week.
Holy
It will
shit.
last for 2 years at least.
That's wild.
So when you went grocery shopping in full uniform during the playoffs, was that game worn stuff you got, or was that like your private collection you purchased?
Backstory behind that is the pants were some extra shorts. So this was a real uniform, though. Absolutely was a real uniform from our equipment manager whenever we order uniforms. The shorts were real, never were worn. So, whenever we get extras that we didn't get to wear, I get to keep them. I have every pair of shorts for the Pelicans. I have the red ones, the white ones, the teal ones, all that good stuff.
Wow.
The jersey was, God, I can't believe I forget. It was like a guy we signed for a 10-day contract. His last name was Williams something, like literally 10 days and out. And whenever we get players like that who are literally here for 10 days, sometimes we'll just, so I say, oh,
Snag their shorts.
I got the red shorts. Let me do this little bit where I just go in full uniform. And what I'm surprised at is, as popular as those videos were, T, I'm glad you asked, because nobody ever asked me, like, who's that player? Nobody never asked.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen the back or ever looked at the back.
Well, there's some videos I did where, like, eventually I turn around and you see, and I thought somebody would be like, "Wait, hold on, that's not Alonzo," because it's Alonzo Ball number. It was number 2. That's not Alonzo Ball's name. So who is this Williams guy? And I thought, I'm like, I swore, I told my wife, I say, watch, it's going to be like a few mentions where people just start debating who's this player's jersey that he's wearing. But nobody never asked that until you did, which is a surprise to me.
It's been eating away at me since the video.
You know what?
Hold on, he's got
I
more.
think I'm just showing up. There you go, right here.
There you go. I thought it was just your last
Actually,
name. I
I
thought,
don't
like,
feel
that's
no.
got to make
The
the
chair
most
I
sense.
am, this was from the All-Star Game 2017. This is the chair that literally the players sat in on the bench.
Who sat in it?
No, not that I can't.
You gotta get, yeah, who's
Yeah, we gotta see
specific
like
butt
Anthony
sweat is on
Davis's
that?
butt cheek imprint.
I do know this was from the East Side, so like maybe Giannis, maybe I think 2017 was when the Browns still with the Cavs, maybe. So whoever was on the East Side in the NBA All-Star Game in 2017, this chair, I got a good bit of stuff.
That's like you have like LeBron's fart, like perfectly preserved in a chair.
Well, speaking of farts, one time Shaq, this is a real story. Shaq, is a goofball, so he farted on me. So I can tell, you can put on my grave one day that Jono Barnes, Shaq farted on him.
And it was a resume. It should be like the header.
It was the.
I bet Shaq farts are just the worst. I mean, there might not be a worse fart on earth, right?
I think that his fart is what originated COVID. To be honest with you.
Yeah. His farts could they gotta raise the sea level, right?
You want to know why he won so many championships? Is when
coastal erosion.
He would just fought on his defender. The defender would be like, "Whoa!" And then Shaq would get those easy dunks.
He did always back people down pretty aggressively. Well, that was awesome. That was not a topic I plan on covering.
No. I enjoy
where the conversation will lead to,
That's what I did. I wrote like 3 bullet points down for this show. Like I wasn't worried about finding things to talk about. I know that we're going to be fine. Obviously you're a huge Saints fan, right? And a lot of your Saints content is excelente. I'm pretty bullish on the Saints this year. I think they're going to do really well. Vegas has them at 8 or 8.5 wins. We're all over the record of taking the over on that.
I agree.
Yeah, I saw your training camp videos that you've already got posted. They're outstanding. Dude, what do you think? What do you think we have in store for us this year as Saints fans? What are we looking at here?
I don't think we're going to be a dominating team like we were in 2018, where we just was whipping everybody's ass. Can we curse on this podcast?
Oh, fuck yeah.
You can,
I mean, watch Boot Crew, you can curse on
in a tasteful manner, of course.
Yeah.
We're on Boot Crew Plus,
right.
Jono. There's Boot Crew YouTube, and then there's like the Ocho of Boot Crew, which I didn't even know existed. Like we're on it. I didn't even know it existed till about 2 weeks ago. So, but they're good about posting our videos over there. We don't even know because nobody knows the brand. There's Boot Crew Media on YouTube, and then there's Boot Crew Media
on
Plus.
Yeah, Boot Crew Media Plus is like the HBO late night.
That could be ours. We could just take that on. We just put that on our shoulders.
You pay, like a Disney Plus, HBO Max.
Dude, let's do no. It's like the other brand. We could be the NWO.
I like that.
We could invade. We could take boot Crew Media Plus and build it, and then invade the primary boot Crew Media like NWO style.
This is why I like you guys. We could do a lot of wrestling references
We
on
can.
this podcast.
We
Like,
can.
look, and I feel like I'm just using this podcast to show off my Stone Cold autograph.
Austin 316. I saw your videos. I saw your
podcast on
WrestleMania
that
videos,
page,
man.
right?
I watched your WrestleMania videos. Those have got a lot of views.
That was great, huh? That was. I kid you not, Billy. So the money I spent to go to Dallas and go to WrestleMania, I made it back off YouTube revenue just by people clicking on that video. So I'm like, shoot, I might want to eventually just go to every major WWE pay-per-view, vlog it, and I get my
Bring
money
me with
back
you. Yeah.
from
Can I tag along?
the vlogs. That was fun. That was great.
I want to be your best friend.
So all right, I'm sorry. We see that's how a Jono Barnes conversation is. Goes all. You asked about the Saints, and now we're talking about WrestleMania.
Yeah.
I think the Saints are going to be. I think we're going to be good this year. I don't think we're going to be like one of these dominating teams, but I think if you ask me, gun to my head to give a record prediction, I want to say 11-6 is probably the peak. I think that we can be, with 10-7 maybe being far behind in case injuries or whatever. I see I think our floor is 8 wins. I think we're definitely not going to be one of those 4, 5, 6, even 7 win teams. I'll say this: I don't need a dominating season from. I really don't. Like I'm fine with one of those 10-7. We're middle of the pack type team. We're not getting all this hoopla. We're not kicking butt and getting the accolades like the Packers or Bucks usually get when they are great because of the quarterbacks. But I feel like if we make the playoffs, we're one of those teams that can fuck a lot of shit up. With that defense, like I just want to get in the playoffs. I don't care if we're the number 7 seed this year.
Right.
Get in the playoffs, and I legitimately would trust our defense against any offense because defenses shine in January. And I think our defense is equipped for January and February football. Sort of like the 49ers last year. They weren't like this amazing team, but once they got into the playoffs, they know they're the type of team that's built to turn it up and wreck shit like they did against the Packers. And
think about the advantage. Think about the advantage that we have over a 49ers, for example. In addition to that badass defense is going to be, I mean, I'm confident, like you said, you just said sneak in as the 7th seed. No. I want to have 1 or 2 games at home. And I think 10 or 11 wins gets you there.
I don't think 10 wins would.
But the combination of now, it's more, this is going to be a ridiculously good defensive football team.
Amazing.
And that's overlooked by a lot of people. The guest we had on last week, we had him on. He's a national famous TikTok guy that does sports betting, but he's like, Saints are going to like make the playoffs, do all this awesome shit. So we brought him in and, is good. But it was good to hear that from like an outside voice. It's like, now our own bias isn't like bleeding in here. And you said like, you see the floor is like 8 wins. Dude, I've got like 2 Toyota Camry payments on the Saints covering 8 wins. You know what I mean? Like, and that's all that DraftKings Sportsbook would let me do. They limited me.
It's funny because there seems to be, it's cool that you actually had a national correspondent on who was actually on board with the Saints, because there seems to be like a disconnect between what Saints fans think and what the national media thinks about our team. I see some people like, oh yeah, the Saints should have a top 10 defense. And I'm like, top 10 almost seems like an insult. Like I genuinely think we're going to have a top 3 defense. I think we have the potential to be the best defense in the league this year. I really do. I think the top 3 would be our floor.
Yeah, like if you're drafting fantasy football, right? If you're drafting fantasy, you can draft the Saints defenses should be going top 3. And all our drafts, obviously, is going to get fucking blown out of the water. But imagine you're where T lives and up in fucking Manchester, or wherever. Manchester, Connecticut.
That is a place, not where I live, but close. Not really even close.
It can't be far. How big of a fucking state you in,
The whole state's 2 hours long.
Exactly. So. Don't tell me it's not close.
Close, yeah, it's all perspective.
Correct.
Ian Rappaport, though, he was at camp and he was even saying that Michael Thomas looks great, and he's of course as big you can get nationally speaking, and he was giving him accolades. So I think it's starting to. You saw it in the draft.
He hyped up. I mean, he was almost bullish. Like he didn't realize how good we were until he went to camp, and that almost, reignited my excitement. Now, maybe me saying, 10-7 will be acceptable. It's just me trying to temper my expectations. But that was good to see because, again, somebody like Ian Rappaport has no skin in the game as far as hyping up the Saints. So for him to come away saying this was genuinely one of the best teams that I covered during I think he went to go see 20 teams during training camp. That was That made me more optimistic than I was the day before. Let's say that. And I'm pretty sure you guys saw, because I think I saw you retweeted. I literally took his segment and I put myself in it on the Pat McAfee show, which was
I thought it was real.
I was proud of that
dude,
one.
I went through that whole, but I'm usually stoned by that time of the day. I went through that whole like, wait, did he go on Pat McAfee? Shit, I was about to just ask him to come on Taking You. There's no way he'll come on now.
Most impressive deep fake of all time.
Yeah, it was a good thing.
Whenever I saw Nick
That's
Underhill,
talent. That's fucking
I
talent.
saw Nick Underhill was on Pat McAfee today. I'll say this: if I ever go on
Yeah, I
Pat
know.
McAfee,
I was like, is that a deep fake too?
no, his was real. But I'm gonna start charging people for my fees if I ever get to Pat McAfee level. I'm like, well, shoot, I'm gonna start charging people. But not you guys, of course.
He's got
Not
$30
you
million a year. Why would he charge anybody? Dude, that's great. So we've got a Saints preseason game coming up on Saturday night at Houston. We can bet on it. Some people look down their noses at us, Jono, for betting on preseason like we do.
It's me.
But
I'm some people.
that's okay. That's fine. That's why we brought you on. We brought you on here to make fun of us for what we do.
All right, so and maybe you're going to get into this. So sorry for interrupting, but how? Like, what is? I mean, it seems
Good
like
question. Good question.
It's a crapshoot, right? You just betting on maybe 50-50 type.
No, I'm betting. I'm a firm believer in coaches and coaching and situations, and everything's relative to that time and then and the now. And so we've got a Saints Dennis Allen. He's a redemption coach, right? Redemption head coach, taking on Lovie Smith, who's a redemption head coach. I'm not even sure Lovie Smith's. I guess he was let go. Last week we had on our guest was the son of Jay Gruden and the nephew of JJ Gruden, and both his dad's and his uncle's former teams were playing with like coaches that they'd fired and replaced his dad and his uncle with in the preseason game, and we talked about this. And the thing for me is I think that teams want to like prove a message, do a thing, or at the end of the day, depth and talent does matter. And the Saints like third string quarterback is better than the Texans' third string quarterback, and the Saints' second string linebacker is better than and so when you get Saints -1.5, it feels like a gift to somebody like me. And then I spend some of the time of my research going over and reading what the Houston Texans beat writers are saying. And they're quoting Lovie Smith going, the preseason's really not that important. I'd rather see what these guys are doing in practice. We're going to do, and he's kind of delineating, they're being very transparent in what they're going to do and who's going to play and for how long. It helps you gauge all of this. I mean, obviously, bias always is going to play in when we're betting on the Saints. But guess what? In years past, we're now getting into our third NFL season of doing this podcast. We would like put little asterisks, don't bet on the Saints, da, da, da. And then we kind of went, oh, let's bet on the Saints. We're going to make a point to bet on the Saints every fucking week because we're smarter than the pros when it comes to the Saints. That's the benefit that we have of all of this time, energy, and effort that we place. We're going to unapologetically bet on the Saints. Not necessarily bet on the Saints. We might go, oh, the Saints are going to, I don't like the spread. I like Saints -1.5 versus the Texans in preseason week 1 for them in Houston. I don't like the total of 33 on this game, although my bet of the week last week was to take the over on the Hall of Fame game, and that covered. And also said to take the Raiders and the points, and they won. And I'm not going to advocate that kind of parlay this week. I'm just going to say Saints are going to cover 1.5 because they're better. They're playing the worst fucking team in the league, dude. That's coming off some serious trauma.
You're not giving the Texans backup quarterbacks enough credit. Did you look who it is?
Who?
It's our old buddy Kyle Allen.
I know that. I saw that.
Good old Kyle Allen. I had fun sacking him many times.
Yeah.
You have his jersey?
Jeff Driscoll.
No.
You don't have his jersey over there?
I don't even think the Panthers ball boys will want to keep his jersey.
So
I don't know, Big, you son of a bitch. I think I'm in. I think I got to put some.
Yeah,
money
why
on
would
the
you
Saints
not?
-1 now.
Very
the
convincing.
day of the game, they will allow you to take halves. First half Saints spreads could be probably 0.5 points. That's a better value in my eyes.
I like that.
So how
Andy
much,
Dalton on the field the whole half, realistically.
as a sports betting novice, I kind of like that idea to do the halves because that's when obviously most of our starters are going to play, so we should whip that ass. You would think. How much somebody like me, not experts like you guys, but how much would be a good starting point for money to put
Oh,
down?
how much you're going to bet?
Yeah, if
We don't answer
especially if
that
it's if
question.
well,
That's
I
that's
know
yeah,
what
that's
the
like
half is, but I know you say -1, so for me to
minus
get
one
at
and a
least
half.
probably be a half point if it's 1.5 right now.
Minus one and a
The
half.
whole game, I would say the
I'd
first half
put
probably
one,
one.
Jono. I'd put one standard unit of whatever a normal safe bet, and then I mean honestly, like I feel like I'm about to turn into that meme of Zach Galifianakis with the numbers, but it's like, what your budget is for gambling for the week or what you're comfortable losing on a little one-off. I like to think of it as like a night out or dinner, drinks, or whatever.
Right, right.
But whatever, and whatever you're comfortable with.
So I think, and again, I haven't bet
But it's
since.
good to it's good to establish a baseline, whatever
Right.
that is for
And
you,
this is
right?
preseason, so this is also
I
me.
would cut your
Well,
baseline in
you're
half.
practicing. You're
Here's
practicing.
the great thing about this is that my wife is actually she's in California for the next
Oh, perfect.
4 months doing some work with Apple. So
You
I
can
can
do a lot of gambling.
I can play a little without her. I love you, honey. If you're watching this, I did give her the link to this. So
One of the things that we're doing, dude, is we're doing a cappers challenge for like all of the New Orleans market. Like I want like anybody that's cool and fun and talks about the Saints or talks about the Pelicans or bets on games or anything to come participate in this little, like, it's like an open competition we're having. But it's not really a competition. It's like you'll get 5 units a week to bet on the NFL. Props, games, lines, whatever. And you just do it. And we'll track it. It'll be like on an open spreadsheet. We're going to invite like local celebrities like yourself. Are you in? Can we do that?
I don't think
Participate?
celebrity is a strong word, but absolutely. I mean, that sounds fun. That sounds fun.
And like I'm actually going to bet those things in real life because it's going to be my 5 smartest bets of the week. So, and it's kind of like it's going to be edutainment, and that like we're going to go every week. What we're going to do is we're going to wipe the slate clean. You're just going to get 5 more units the next week, and that's because that's your gambling budget. That's how this competition will run. But you're going to stockpile your winnings every week, but you're just going to erase them. We're trying to train people to like gamble a smart, right way, where like you win or what you win. You don't always just deposit. You withdraw as well. You make withdrawals. Withdrawing is important, and then you just leave like your little tiny amount left, and then you build off of that.
I'm in.
Thank you.
I'm in.
What a
I'm
salesman.
excited.
Now, again, you gotta put if you call it celebrity, put it like that in quotation marks, because my inclusion would definitely completely invalidate that word. but I appreciate,
I
the
didn't say what
insights
level celebrity.
of local celebrity. I wouldn't even.
Bro, when you pay for your WrestleMania trip with clicks, I'm sorry, you got that's your crown.
Well,
You
I'll be a little. I have had people stop me more recently, like in the past few months. I'm like, Jono in public, and that still catches me off
I
guard.
saw you did like a Zapruder thing with your training camp video.
Yeah, and the
Where
guy,
guy
and I,
called
I'm
out to you,
busy.
like, "Yeah, I love you. You're so funny."
Yeah, and I'm yapping my butt off.
You
He's
were
like, wow, what an
trying to
asshole.
interview
Jono.
somebody, and then but you did like when you edited it, you did like a Zapruder deal where you zoomed in on the guy and you isolated the audio, and I was like,
And he still never contacts me. I'm like, well, he's got to follow me on YouTube or Twitter if he's,
yeah,
if he
he's
knows
heard
it.
you, right? That's
So
how. Yeah,
I was hoping that I got somebody him that. So I could
you
have told
thought
him,
that
hey,
would be
sorry.
easy. That's just the guy you went to second grade with.
Maybe, and that's actually funny. Usually in the past when people recognize me, I have a horrible memory of remembering people from the past. So I learned this from my dad. I always still would carry the conversation as if I knew who the person was. So like I've had countless conversations with people who know me, and I don't remember who the hell they are. And I'm like, hey man, how you doing? Yeah, man. I was like blah 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 blah. So my instinct whenever somebody calls me now in public is to be like, act like I know them. And one time I did it, and the guy was like, nah, Johnny, you don't know me. I'm a fan. I was like, oh. So I told my wife and my dad, that's how I got to now just assume, instead of that I actually know this person, that whoever stops me is actually, I hate to say the word fan because I feel like, I don't know, I'm not big enough to have fans.
Listener, supporters,
yeah.
They dig your shit.
Yeah,
I consider them friends. I call them friends.
Exactly, I'm familiar,
Friends.
Family. Yeah. But I can't act like I can't do the whole. Oh, I know this person in my head thing anymore. I gotta just assume that whoever calls me out in public is somebody who actually is a supporter of the content that I put out.
That's wild. I find like it's interesting. You're a comedy guy. I did stand up for 7 years, right? Mostly in the Baton Rouge market. Did regional touring from Texas to Florida. Would come and fuck around for New Orleans shows, but like the New Orleans comedy scene in those days, New Orleans comedy scene was weird because it was almost like in Baton Rouge it was like white and black comedy was all together, but like in New Orleans it felt like white and black comedy were different. You know.
That doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, well, and the white people are like mostly hipsters and just anything. Yeah, but anyway,
Billy,
I got
right
out of
quick.
comedy, stopped doing comedy.
It's cool that you are a stand-up comedian. Here's the thing. I'm glad when you introduced me, you didn't use this word. You gave me probably the best introduction I've had since I started doing podcast interviews and whatnot. Cool. People sometimes will introduce me as comedian, and I do not like being called a comedian because my rule is to be a comedian, you have to be able to do stand-up.
Have you ever done a stage
I've
show?
never done stand-up. I feel like if I did do stand-up and I put a ton of energy and effort into doing it, my peak as a stand-up comedian would be solid, like just solid. Like, he wasn't bad, but he wasn't graded. He was just solid. So I always tell people, like, just, like if they include me in articles whenever they want to include one of my videos or whatever, to just call me an entertainer. Is that a correct way of thinking? I know comedian can be
it's just like paradigms have changed. So like, I mean, I'm a little bit of I'm not full blown dinosaur, but I'm like, was born in 79. So like the paradigm that I thought you had to come up with was stand up. So then you go open mics, and you go through the whole thing. And while I was doing that, the world changed into like, no, you can be a Vine star. You can be like, and like, I didn't get that. I didn't start a fucking Twitter account till like 2 or 3 years ago. My first one of all.
Yeah.
Because I remember somebody I worked at LSU. I think the year was like 2006 or 2007. I worked at LSU, and somebody was like, "We're gonna publish all this stuff about like information. We're gonna put it on Twitter at LSU, and that's gonna help." I was like, "Y'all are fucking stupid. This is going nowhere. This Twitter thing's fucking."
I'm glad you didn't bet on that.
No, I wasn't betting on that at the time, but it's I mean, it's a whole new paradigm, right? The content creator is different. I like smoky dive bars, and I used to like, they would pay my bar tab or whatever, and I'd tell dick jokes, and I mean, like, it'd be good, but like, it's different. The whole, like I said, the whole shift to there were people like it started with Vine and it went to this and it went to that, and Instagram, which Instagram to me is probably my favorite platform. I know like you've got presences on all of them, but it, for some people, it's like, it just, in age and generationally, it's hard to adapt. It's hard to adapt. I love podcasting. I love this. This is my favorite. Just talking to people, talking to you. Like I'm fascinated by you. You seem to be like a guy that gets shit done. You get things done. You're a successful guy. Like, good content creators aren't fucking like dumb or lazy or unmotivated. Like, they're all-star human beings, and that's why I think it's fascinating to talk to them, is they've chosen their lane and they're good at it.
Which I think this was offline when I mentioned, you were on the Jim Cornette show, and I was like, I'm looking at everything now from a content creator's perspective, instead of like, if Jim Cornette says something that I vehemently disagree with, I'm still looking at it from a, well, you know what? He's got my engagement though, because I'm like, well, how could you? Like, what kind of opinion? And I'm like, I appreciate that. I was like, at that, shoot. I hate Donald Trump, but then I was thinking at him like, wow, Trump is.
Is Jono pro Trump? Because
oh no, Jono is not pro Trump.
Jim Cornette's pretty anti-Trump.
No way, Jono is not even liberal, but I would lean closer to liberal if anything. But
we need people in the middle. We need people that are like, hey, let's not wave a flag.
I don't
vote for a guy and then go buy a T-shirt.
I don't want to say I'm a moderate either, but I'm like in the middle between moderate and liberal, I guess. So
yeah, that's where I am too.
But yeah, I look at a lot of things from a content creator's perspective now. Ever since I started this, and ironically, you say Instagram is one of your favorites. Instagram is one where I'm still trying to figure out, and you would think that would be one of the easier ones to do. But I think because my Instagram, obviously, before I started doing content, was just like my personal Instagram of family photos and whatnot. And as I transitioned into this content stuff, my Twitter blew up first, my YouTube as well, Instagram. I think my close family and friends, when I first started, I would post it on everything. Like everything I did, I posted it on all the platforms. And I don't think my friends and family on Instagram like quite understood. They were like, "Wait, this is a shift. Like, is Jonathan trying to do this thing now of making comedy?" And so when that wasn't getting as much engagement, I post some of the skits every now and then on Instagram, but I centered my focus on Twitter and YouTube because those were the two that was really growing at a rapid pace, probably faster than I imagined that they could grow. I want to do better at posting on Instagram. I post on TikTok a good bit now too, and my TikTok is actually starting to gain. I had like 300 followers on TikTok a month ago. Now I'm at 700. So something is starting to work on TikTok
That's
where
right.
the algorithm is pushing up my videos. So, but I gotta do better with it.
He's in charge of our TikTok. He's got 20 listeners.
Okay, that's unfair.
And then
There's a bit of a
and
science
to be fair, but I would
TikTok.
also I would have clear. Instagram is my favorite to like consume because I don't.
And that's
get
the
hit with
thing, though,
any-
Billy. You see,
I've never my only Instagram account is my personal Instagram account. I have never posted one single thing in my life.
and
with
so you
my
use
personal
Instagram to like watch content, is what you're saying.
Yes.
Right? And I think my mindset was, I was like, people, and I know it's funny because I don't know you've been following the news. Like a lot of people are complaining that Instagram is basically trying to turn into TikTok now with the reels and. Like,
I'd say TikTok's trying to turn into Instagram.
No, and I'll give TikTok, and I'm shocked because the way you say you would have, say that hell no, Twitter isn't a thing. I would have swore. I was like, TikTok is stupid.
I love Twitter.
Have TikTok if Vine failed, and I'm shocked at the popularity of TikTok, which is why I'm trying to be more active on there. But I viewed Instagram as like an app that people didn't want to see content, but it seems like there's a shift that's starting to happen. So I need to be more active with posting my stuff on Instagram. I appreciate the kind words about my content. I'll give a quick backstory with that too. I started last year, like literally, I started last year. It was a weekend, and my dad and close people to me always were like, you should do something to put yourself out there. You're a talented guy, whether it be podcasts or whatever. And so it was like during the pandemic when we still couldn't go outside or whatever. And I'm like, I got all this free time. I'm working from home now, so I have a lot more flexibility. If there's ever a time for me to like take a stab at this and do it, it's now. I didn't want to keep having, nights in bed where I'm tossing and turning like, what would be my success level if I tried to create content? So I'm shocked though at the growth that I had, especially on Twitter. Twitter happened real fast. I did a few Saint skits and I want to act like I'm smarter than everybody else, and this was like the strategic thing that I did. But it was one of those things where I just went for it. Like it was just one of those go with the flow type things. I was surprised. I was genuinely surprised that no other local content creator dived into Saints comedy yet, because this team, as we know as fans, gives us so much content that we can make fun of. So I was like, this is a shock that nobody wants to do Saints comedy. So I did tell myself, I was like, okay, there's a bunch of Saints podcasters and analysts out there, some very talented ones, don't get me wrong. I can follow their lead and do actual legitimate Saints analysis and podcasts and stuff like that, and I'll be just one of many fish in the sea. Or I can kind of stir away and do something different and put a comedic element to the team that we love so much. And that's one of those things that worked. And Twitter was one of the first platforms that people recognized the content that I was creating, and it's kind of grown into what it is now. And I think that knock on wood, it's going to continue to grow.
Do you know? So I have a question on that, and I want an honest answer. Do you think you would have the success you have now if you tried to do this in a different market?
I think it depends on what team.
Okay.
I think what's special about New Orleans is that New Orleans will show you some love, man. That's the old saying. If you can make it.
Your original New Orleans guy. For the record, I asked you earlier where you were born. You said behind a dumpster.
Yeah, well,
where are you from?
Dramatic experience, Billy. I'm sorry I didn't get the city. Yes, born and raised in New Orleans. New Orleans East, to be exact. The great New Orleans East, that our city officials love so much. You
want to play a game?
Actually.
Play a game with me. Play a game with me. Guess where I was born.
I'm gonna be honest. Anytime I see a white person, I say Meta Reed.
No, I was
Kennebra,
not.
are you a Kennebra?
Dude, I was born in the Dirty Dell.
Oh,
Born and raised. Left there at
yeah.
18. Yeah.
Oh, so you got
Voluntarily moved back at like 35.
some skin in the game.
But I'm not there now.
Well, where are you now?
Mandeville.
Ah, okay. I
Yeah.
like Mandeville.
I don't. It's
Oh
absurd.
well, I guess
Bougie,
it's one of those
dude. It's
things
fucking
where
bougie. It's bougie, and I'm not. You know what I mean?
the grass is always greener on the other side. So
I'm Slidell trash, dude.
I get that. I get that. Yeah, born and raised in New Orleans East. Shit, I don't know.
Hell yeah.
If this thing works out with my wife with Apple, I might be in California soon. So that's a whole nother discussion for another day, though. But T, I think so say if I did it for like the Bills have one of those fan bases that I think would appreciate it. You got a fan base maybe like the Cowboys, where who knows, because there's so many people who do Cowboys content. I think, again, if you make it in New York, you can make it anywhere. I say, well, if you can be loved in New Orleans, then you don't need to be loved anywhere else, because the love that New Orleans has shown me has been so damn impactful that, I would love a day where my stuff continues to go out there, and I don't want to be cornered into just doing strictly Saints and Pelicans stuff. I'm sure you guys have seen. I've done like some general comedy skits, and maybe this year I'll do more for other teams. Now, I mean, my focus will always be, don't get me wrong, on the Saints and Pelicans, because that's my passion. Those are my two favorite teams. But I don't know if I don't want to say the Falcons because that's an easy target. But like if the Jaguars lose a game in a hilarious fashion, maybe I'll do a skit or a voiceover thing about that, and maybe then Jacksonville fans will start noticing me, and then maybe I'll become this general content creator that all NFL fans know, not just majority right now is Saints fans that know of me. So I think that certain fan bases would appreciate it. I think New Orleans had a very, very gracious, opportunity, I guess, that wasn't being taken advantage of by some of their local content creators. And I got lucky that I was able to be the first one to do it.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's why I became, I think, even more of a...
I'm glad you guys are Pelicans fans, because, I dropped a few Pelicans videos like during football season last year. They did okay. But that playoff run really, really helped Pelicans fans. One, the whole city started catching Pelicans fever. So I was able to finally get some of my Pelicans videos to do some good numbers, because I obviously, as a 13-year employee for the team, wanted to show them love and wanted to give them some of the engagement, attention, content that they deserve in our city. So I was glad the past few months with the playoff run that my content, especially with me in Walmart with the uniform and stuff like that, taking off.
Are the Baby Cakes still a team?
They are not.
No.
Which would have been fun.
Damn, that's another opportunity.
I would have done
they play rugby there now.
They played in New Orleans. I would have done like vlogs and stuff for them, but they play in Birmingham. So I was like, well, there's not much I can do for the break.
And they changed their name from that really horrible name.
Have you met the King Cake Baby?
Oh yeah, I mean, I know the people.
He knew the person inside.
There's a person inside of there.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I'm sorry if I'm breaking hearts, but there is indeed a person under the King Cake Baby.
That's breaking news. That bumps us up from Bucrum.
Y'all getting some exclusive on this podcast. You see, y'all didn't expect that, huh? I'm giving y'all some goodies.
Jono, I'm going to let you choose the next topic. All right. We can either play a game where we just talk shit about the Falcons and the Panthers and the Buccaneers.
Oh, that's fine.
Or we can talk about the monumental shift that has happened in the pro wrestling landscape.
Ooh.
In the last several
weeks,
it really hasn't been that long.
Oh,
and I'd love to talk. That would be self-indulgent. That'd be for the wrestling fan. And I'm okay with that.
I don't know.
Them 49 minutes of NFL.
I'm a man of the people. What's the majority of y'all audiences? Y'all have a good combination of wrestling fans slash sports.
We've only done one wrestling show. I've only dipped my toes into that market once. And next week we're doing UFOs and UAPs. I've got a prominent female UFO YouTuber coming on the show.
I like the variety, Billy. I really do. I like the variety of guests you had. That's awesome.
It's in her name.
Did you guys see Nope? Did you guys see Nope?
No. Is that?
My daughter did. My daughter did.
With John Peel, yeah. It was was good. I liked it better than his other movie. Not Get Out was a classic, but Us, I was mixed on. I thought Nope was entertaining. It was about UFOs, so you will probably enjoy that, Billy.
Yeah.
Well, Billy, I'll tell you something right quick. I don't believe in UFOs. I really don't.
You don't.
I feel like it's 2022. Like if there were UFOs, you would have seen them by now, right?
Well,
Like,
I mean, what's happened is like the government has acknowledged them in ways that they've never done. Like we've acknowledged them for the first time in 70 years, like in the last 3 years, and more stuff is getting declassified every day. And I mean, it's a national security risk. It's been on 60 Minutes. It's been in the New York Post, Washington Times. They're here. It's just like what they're doing is they're conditioning you to believe that they're not little green men. And they don't even like to use the word UFOs anymore. Now they call them UAPs, unidentified aerial phenomena, in all of the documents. But like Congress is having hearings on C-SPAN about this shit now. Like, is undeniable. And the thing is like, what is it and how are they going to explain it? And what they're trying to do is they're trying to like just like turn a faucet on enough to where it's just like tiny little drip of information. But people like me, like I've been a conspiracy nut on that shit since I was a child. You know, my dad got like the Time Life Mysteries of the Unknown book series when we saw that commercial about Stonehenge, and like that was it. It was on. You know, I've been a UFO person.
About next week with your guests.
Yeah,
it's gonna be.
All right, I'm tuning in. I want to.
You should.
I really do.
You can probably come on if you want.
Like, I'm not like some.
It's gonna get weird.
Some well, I'm the definition of weird, huh? I'm not some staunch like, oh, there's no way UFO, but I don't know. I'm a logical, so I'm like, okay, if I have.
Are you like?
Have you seen the Tic Tac films? Have you seen the Tic Tac films? Have you seen the like the most sophisticated targeting technology in the world on aircraft carriers off both the East and the West Coast over a spread of several different years? Seeing and recording UAPs like and like everybody's like, yeah, we debriefed about it. We don't know what the fuck it is. It showed technology that nobody has. You know, it's now a national security risk.
Some people call it UAPs. I just call it Panthers fans.
Yeah, I know. And I'm reading a book about how.
Come on, now I set y'all up perfectly for that.
They released the Panthers depth chart. And did you take a look at that, Gun?
I did. You sent it to me at 5:40. Hey, Jono, you're on Central Time. T sent me the Panthers depth chart at 5:47 this morning.
Grind doesn't stop.
I fucking woke up to.
I'm an hour ahead. I'm up.
I thought it was unique. I guess what you were trying to convey is that they have both Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold listed as one.
Correct.
Really?
It's classic.
I mean, God, it's pretty obvious who's Baker Mayfield's going to be starting, right? Like,
I know, but what's also funny is like I read an article. It was like their current offensive coordinator talked so much shit about him in 2018 when he was coming out of college into the draft. Yeah, Ben McAdoo was like roasted him, and now he's like, yeah, he's a great leader.
Huh?
Yeah, I tell you, he's got an attitude on him, and it's a good one.
So thankful that they botched this rebuild. Like, there was no way Matt Rule was going to ever be a successful coach with them.
Well, Matt Rule's not going to last 9 games.
I think Baker has potential. I really do. Like, I think with the right coach, but not with Matt Rule. So I feel bad for him that he's going to Carolina. Like, if you put Baker Mayfield with Sean Payton, I'm like, oh, Baker has a shot to like really, you know, I'm not going to say Hall of Fame, but he could be a good, serviceable quarterback. But with that regime they have, I'm glad that they're in our division right now. Let's say that.
We have 2 of the worst teams in football. We play twice a year.
You're right, the Falcons too. But at least the Falcons, I'll give them this. This is the only nice thing I'm gonna say about them.
They're trying.
They're doing solid with their rebuild attempt. I think the Deshaun Watson thing was hilarious because they basically screwed over their chances of. I'm sure that if that didn't work out, they were going to try and keep Matt Ryan, but
I'm a new Matt Ryan fan. I'm a new Matt Ryan fan. I like Matt Ryan all of a sudden. I'm really
he also like a cool guy. I was like,
all of a sudden never really discovered this part of me until recently, but I think I like Matt Ryan now.
There's a lot of players that, like, honestly, I wish Michael Vick wasn't a Falcon because he would have been one of the most exciting players for me to cheer for. So I have to hate him.
I feel like he got it. Like I don't think
that type of guy. Honestly, like, entertaining. He's a character. I would have loved Cam Newton if he played for the freaking New York Jets or somebody, but he played for the Panthers. So I'm like, God damn it, I gotta hate him. Matt Ryan seems like a swell guy, and I was like, I can't like him because he plays for the Falcons. But now that he's with the Colts, I wish him nothing but the success in the world. But the Falcons, they seem to have some type of decent plan to their rebuild. Carolina has been all over the place. Like I can see maybe Atlanta getting it together in a year or two. Carolina, they're going to have to tear everything down again and start over probably next year. So that helps us out as we are kind of in this win now mode.
You know who's suddenly turning into a shit show more and more, minute by minute, day by day, is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
You think? No, I don't. I think Tampa.
Yes.
T, you want to hit us? You want to drop some knowledge on
Oh,
everybody?
I
here?
love this topic.
Please do.
For weeks I've been saying the Bucs are not going to win the division. They may not even finish second.
Wow, that's a hot take.
That's
They may
actually
not
pretty
even
extremely
finish
hot.
second, he
That's a
said.
little aggressive, but they're not going to win
It's
the division.
aggressive,
And this isn't biased. The
but
Bucs,
but it starts with the offensive line.
right,
Which is
the
in
Bucs'
shambles. I'll give y'all
success-
that.
Look at how the Saints beat the Bucs. Defense with 9-0, and then a few clutch turnovers because they get pressure on Brady. If Brady's under pressure, that's everything for him at this point in his career. Is pressure. They're down to their third string center. They're looking at free agents. If this continues,
That's just us. See, that's the Saints and Buccaneers lens. They want to play some teams where it's not going to be as big of an issue because not every team has a D line like us. Tampa, I'll give Tampa. I think they do have a good front office, and I mean Tom Brady obviously saved them, right? But like they amassed some good talent even before Brady, and then getting somebody like Brady was able to elevate everybody. Well, then suddenly they were Super Bowl champs. But I think Tampa has a good team this year, and I think they have a good front office. Now, I don't think they're going to be that special, obviously, once Brady leaves and all those free agents that they're getting because everybody wants to ride the Tom Brady train are going to leave them. But I give them the second best front office in the NFC South currently. I think we have the best one, obviously, but I don't take nothing away from them. I'm being way too nice to some of these teams on this podcast. Like I just gave the Falcons and Bucks back-to-back compliments.
Yeah, we're gonna edit that part out.
I'm sorry, guys. Yeah, I don't know what the hell I'm thinking. Let's talk wrestling, Billy. We can talk about the monumental shift. I'm ruining my brain.
I feel like some of your most viewed videos are the WrestleMania videos.
Yes.
And I know you went to this most recent one. And like I'm a huge wrestling fan. And even when I wasn't a wrestling fan, I think even if a listener's listening to this right now, don't turn your shit off because some of the most fascinating things about pro wrestling are the business side, the human side, the behind the scenes side, more than like the content itself. And it's inevitable if you've been a wrestling fan for the last 20, 30 years, like, you know, people like you and I have, you're gonna become interested in both sides. And we had the most monumental thing of all time happen in modern wrestling when Vince McMahon retired from WWE a couple weeks ago. He still owns 70% of the company's stock, but he's no longer CEO. He's no longer chairman of the board. He's no longer in charge of creative because they keep revising the number. I think we should start a ticker like at the bottom of the screen. How many millions of dollars he's settled? It started at 4, 8, 9, 11, 15. It actually hit $19 million today. $19 million in found settlements for a guy. And he's going, well, buddy, I grew the company by $3 billion. So what if I gave away 20? But it's an amazing story, and like he's gone, and now we've had like 2 weeks of literally he's gone. So his daughter, you know, Stephanie McMahon is the CEO and the chairman or chairwoman or co-chairwoman, co-CEO, whatever, with Khan, and her husband Triple H is in charge of creative,
which is obvious which is very obvious now.
Very obvious. It's like I feel like I've been holding my breath for this for the last 20 years, and now it's happened. Vince is gone.
Right.
And we're getting better creative immediately.
It's a day that I never thought I would see. I genuinely never thought Vince would go out the way he went out.
I knew he had to die at some point.
Even when the reports came, because we know wrestling isn't mainstream and nobody cares enough about it besides that very, very niche but passionate wrestling audience that fucking Vince McMahon could murder somebody and wrestling fans will still be like, no, Jason, and bowing down to him whenever he comes out. So I was telling, my wrestling family and friends, I was like, he's not gonna. I was like, he's gonna. I thought him doing his little last few appearances when he came out on SmackDown and Raw and was like, then now forever. I was like, he's just doing that to like basically flex on his haters. Like, I don't care what y'all put out there, I'm not leaving. So I was shocked when I got the notification that he actually retired. I was like, damn, this really must be pretty bad for him. And I know he has. Besides, I can in that industry, not just wrestling, but the entertainment, Hollywood. I always could give a shit less about like.
He's just a different case, though. He's a different level.
Sexual types. I was like, yeah, it's probably a very crazy industry. I know he has some more serious ones that, if he did commit these serious ones, like with the rape allegations and whatnot, then he deserves a lot of flack for that. But like the ones that they actually are dropping a hammer on him for like having these secret rendezvous and paying the woman, I really don't give a shit about that. I don't. It's like,
right. And right now, that's what they're
letting. Billionaire CEO that does type of shit like that.
The problem is he went public. The company went public.
Right.
So
he had to,
but he's treating a public company like his own little slush fund. Like, okay, yeah, I can do sexual harassment within the workplace on people if I just pay them off or whatever. That doesn't fly in a public company. Like that will never, ever. When it's documented and
wrestling, like they all live. The whole
and wrestling's just a crazy industry. So
it's like this
so if it was normal, like times have changed. Vince thought he could do this.
Or the NBA did a partnership with Saudi Arabia, they would have got fucking crammed for it. WWE does it, and they were like, "What the fuck y'all gonna do about it?" Like our fans are
blood money. It's blood money,
right? And but nobody,
wrestling fans call it the blood money pay per view. For the record, wrestling. I say blood money because wrestling fans call it the blood money pay per view.
WWE I was like, they're untouchable. Like, no matter, even if there is a little bit of a small uproar from people on Twitter who decide to take aim at WWE, I always felt that they were Teflon to anything because their niche is so damn passionate about their wrestling that nothing could stick. But I was shocked about this. And I think that from a creative standpoint, does T watch wrestling? I hope we're not boring him.
T's asleep.
Yeah. I don't watch wrestling at all. I don't know much about it. That's why I really push for the Falcons.
I'll wrap it up for T like this, dude. I don't even think we've heard the worst about Vince McMahon. Yeah, I think more bad is coming. The really horrible shit has not even been hatched yet.
Absolutely.
And then the next part of that is,
I'm sorry for boring you, T.
Thank God he's gone because the product itself is going to be fucking awesome.
Yeah, I agree.
I have some connections to the WWE, just not in I watch it period. But my dad. This is weird. Triple H and Stephanie McMahon are frequent customers of my dad's grocery store that he manages because they live they live about 20 minutes away from me, and the office is about 20 minutes south, the WWE headquarters.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So he's met both of them multiple times. Triple H buys the most expensive steaks he can possibly buy just for his dogs.
Wow.
Not even for his family, just for his dogs. So that's about my only foray into WWE.
Funny. I believe that. Well, that's what the richest people on earth do.
Right. If I ever got rich from my content, you guys would be seeing me buy stuff that.
You should never buy steaks for your dog. You got to be like Triple H, Stephanie Rich to do that.
I buy, they got what's the chef that does the gold sprinkles or whatever. He sells like
the salt baby.
I buy steaks from him for my dog. That's how.
Yeah, $1,000 a plate at his restaurant.
Yeah, and have my dog on a viral video of him pouring the salt for my dog.
Does your dog make?
Can this motherfucker just give me my steak?
All right, Gunn. Anything else from you? I got nothing.
No, dude. I just wanted to say, Jono, thank you so much.
Yeah.
For coming on.
Well, thank you guys because now I know a little bit more about bets, and I will be putting money down.
Follow me on Twitter, and I'll tell you what to do. I'm
gonna put 60 on. I'm gonna be safe. 60 is about a night out for me.
60 on
Saints. Well, I want to see like T say.
Why don't you do this, dude? Put 20 on it. Put 20 on it, and let me do 3 other bets with you. And this is how I'm gonna guarantee that you're at least gonna finish $60 higher the next night.
All right, I'm with that.
Yeah,
I'm with that.
It's not like we don't like taking heavy swings on the preseason bet's kind of a goofy bet. It is kind of a goofy bet, but I'll put it on the tally as a smart bet. Like I think it's going to happen, but just split your night out up. and then you can do multiple action and do it different ways, and it's a whole system.
Or you could warm up with the Giants Patriots tomorrow night.
Ooh, I can't wait. We're gonna bet Thursday,
There's 2
Friday,
games.
Oh, y'all, see,
before we
y'all
even get to
are passionate
Saturday.
about
I'm
this.
gonna bet
Oh,
every
dude, I've
preseason
got
game. I'm not gonna
baseball
lie.
games. I've got baseball games that have like it's happened. I don't even know what the result is yet. You know what I mean? I've got money that's out there right now. This is what we do.
And look, it's a great thing to be a part of, and I'm glad that you guys are using this for your brand, right? Like to help other people
It
out.
helps me with inflation. Helps me keep ahead of inflation.
Hey,
Helps make gas affordable. My fucking power bill. You know what I mean?
oh
Like
God, Intergy.
yeah.
Don't get
You
me
should have
started.
interviewed me for your fucking video. I'd have been like, I gamble. It's how I stay ahead. Fucking energy.
Maybe in the future. That's that. The good thing about this city and state is there's always some good news stories for me to have fun with.
I know it. Well, dude, got anything you want to plug? Like one more time, hit them with all the places they can find you.
YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok. If you search Jono Barnes, I'll come up, and you guys can follow me on whichever platform you guys are the most comfortable, your favorite platform that you utilize. And I promise you guys that you will get a laugh out of my content. If not a laugh, you'll get a chuckle. And if not a chuckle, you get at least like a little smirk, like he was kind of funny. I mean, like a little bit, you know.
It's gonna elicit a reaction.
Yeah, it's something, right? Even if
His
it's
face is gonna move.
It's gonna
when
raise
he
your blood
watches
pressure a little
content.
bit.
right. Especially blood pressure. I mean, Bucks and Falcons fans, once they started getting a hold of my content, that's always fun to see their comments.
Who is this Bucks Army that I always see on Twitter? You seen these guys? Not to
Have I seen them? They went after me hard.
They went after him.
Yeah. I'm gonna say some of my better skits last year was at the Bucks expense, so I wasn't shocked when they came at me. And I actually was able to meet some pretty cool Bucks fans from it. But that's I would say that's one of the strategic things about me is that folks are just so damn passionate about sports, like almost to a fault. Me, I've kind of grown into looking at it from an entertainment perspective. Like I take it serious; it's a passion of mine. I still get hurt way too much whenever the Saints lose big games, but I also now just kind of look at it from an entertainment element instead of this is life or death element. So I kind of play into like with some of these skits where I dig at the Falcons, the Bucks, I dig at the Saints. Like I'm an equal opportunist. I make fun of our team, knowing that this is going to raise the blood pressure, elicit a response from these fans on Twitter and TikTok and YouTube and soon Instagram because they're just so damn passionate about sports that it garners reaction. Let's just say that it garners reaction.
Dude.
I also hope your audience appreciates while you guys with the shades on. I dressed up for you guys because I value you guys.
You look fancy, man.
So
you look fancy.
Your audience appreciates.
Unfortunately, this is a
Look,
purely audio podcast, and they're not going to.
No, there's video. I promise.
There's
It
video.
better be a video.
Over 600 views on the video last week.
Oh no! You should never told me that, Billy.
Yeah.
Because Billy, now I'm going to go check it. I'm going to be like, oh, well, you know.
Hey, if you just go check it, then that'll be another view. See,
I was going to check it no matter what, but I wasn't going to compare it to like your other guests. But now I'm going to be like, oh, great! Look, I got you guys.
Give us a little love.
Hey,
I consider you a friend of not even the show, but myself. And so thank you so much for your time. I know the only thing they're not making more of is time. I can always make more money. I can't make more time. And you gave us a good hour. Hour and 8 minutes tonight, dude.
Send us
I'm
home.
appreciative of you.
Let me sing for y'all. Close out the show. I never had that.
Close out the show. Oh, we always close out the show with music.
Back again.
Your heart is true. You're a pal and a confidant.
I got a great singer voice. I don't know about that.
And if you threw a party, invited everyone you knew, you would see the biggest gift would be from me. And the card attached would say, thank you for being a friend. We're going to end the show, but Jono doesn't have to leave the room. Dan, dan, dan.